Hey guys, I hope everybody had a good weekend. In this video, we're going to have our weekly test your GRE vocabulary. This is actually part number 3. Yay! So go ahead, if you haven't done so, take the diagnostic test. That includes the first 30 words, and after that, go ahead and take the part 2 test because I think it would be better if you guys go in order. You don't have to, but I think it would be better. Anyway, the way these videos work is every week we have a vocabulary test that has 30 words that frequently occur on the GRE, and it's just a way for you to kind of assess your vocabulary knowledge and determine if you're ready to take this bad boy, this test. Anyway, let's begin. Like always, we always start with a quick review of the rules. There are 30 questions total for 30 words. There's 4 questions on one page. So I tried something a little bit different this week. Usually there's 4 answer choices, and I thought, you know what, that's a little bit too easy. So let's go ahead and try 5 answer choices. You get 1 minute per page. The answers should be written on a separate sheet of paper. Obviously no dictionaries, because what's the point? And then finally, context is not present. What that means is you cannot figure out the meaning of these sentences from clues inside the sentence. So this is basically just a test of your vocabulary knowledge. Do you know the word or don't you? And that's basically how this thing works. And then finally, answers will be given at the end of the test. Good luck. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these answers. So number one, she exhibited deference toward the woman. Well, think about the verb here. If I defer to you, it's basically I give you the authority to make a decision for me, or I let you go first. So this is a sign of respect. That's the best answer. Okay. A GRE synonym would be something like revere or reverence. That would be a GRE synonym. Demand for the product burgeoned. So it's either going to be it went up, it went down, or it stayed the same, or it even went up and down. The best answer here is it rapidly ballooned right there. Balloon is a synonym. When you use it as a verb, it's a synonym for to increase. So we're not talking about the noun, the balloon with, helium inside. We're talking about a verb that is often used with things that you can count or things that you can kind of think of as data. The GRE likes to use the verb balloon to talk about something quickly increasing either in value or in number. Number three, she has a diffident demeanor. Well, this woman is shy. She's a shy woman. She's diffident. A GRE synonym might be something like timorous. I don't know how to pronounce that stupid word, but something like that. Number four, his antipathy knew no bounds. So this person has a lot of antipathy. That's what that means. Knew no bounds means to have a lot of something. So credulity means you believe everything, right? So this is believe everything. Skepticism is the opposite of that. Generosity, we know what that means. You give a lot of your stuff. Naivete means, you're kind of innocent or you don't have a lot of knowledge. And loathing is a synonym for hatred, which is a synonym for antipathy. So the best answer is loathing. Okay, next four. He was famous for equivocating when speaking. He was famous for equivocating. So this is often used in the adjective form. It's spelled like this, equivocal. And that's a person who cannot make up their mind. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. So a person who equivocates, which is a verb, they have a hard time of speaking directly. They don't speak directly. So the best answer here is deflecting. This person's deflecting, not really being truthful. Kind of, it's a manner of being dishonest. Lecturing means to, give a lot of information, not really a back and forth. Clarifying means to make something clear. Condescending means to talk down to somebody. So to talk down. And then critiquing, either could be to give kind of negative feedback or just feedback in general. Number six, it is arduous work. I think this word will be familiar to a lot of you guys. We probably don't need to talk about it. Arduous work, the best word is it's exhausting. It's difficult, tough work. There is a GRE word here, trivial. Trivial can mean unimportant in this case. Number seven, indeed, the results were anomalous. So you often see this word in its noun form. It's spelled like this, anomaly. That means like a rare phenomenon that hardly ever happens or something that doesn't conform to a pattern. So the best answer here is going to be exceptional. That's the best answer, which of course, comes from the word except, which means not included. Arbitrary is kind of the trick answer. Arbitrary is not horrible, but it's not as good of an answer as exceptional. Unsurprising is the opposite. Number eight, her symptoms abated. So whenever you're talking about symptoms, like a sickness, it's probably going to be her symptoms either got worse or they got better. In this case, the word abated means her symptoms got better. So I have to choose the word that most closely matches with that, and the best one's going to be diminished. All right, let's continue. Four more. Number 9, that is a cogent argument. So is that a fallacious argument? A fallacious argument is one full of holes. Think about task 2 on the GRE. the argument essay, they always give us an argument that is fallacious, full of kind of stated and unstated assumptions that lessen the persuasiveness of the argument. Oft repeated means often said, original means new, sound means logical, and complete means nothing is missing. Complete is not a bad answer. I think the best answer here, though, is going to be sound. Keep in mind, this is an adjective. It has nothing to do with what you hear in your ear. GRE will never do that, by the way. If this is an adjective, all 5 of these choices will always be adjectives. So you can never ooh, sound is a noun and cross it out. No, it doesn't work that way. The GRE is not that stupid. They know to include everything grammatically correct, so you can't play any games on the test. Number 10, she's artless. She's artless. Best answer here is she lacks experience, she's simple, she is naive. Artless is kind of a tricky word, by the way. It has several different meanings. One meaning could be plain, another meaning could be unskilled, and then finally the third meaning here is naive. Ambivalent means mixed emotions, deceptive means she's lying, intentionally being dishonest. Not the best choice here. Number 11, it is an arcane ritual. I've always had trouble with arcane. For me, whenever I think of arcane, I tend to think of ancient. But it doesn't really mean that. And then I tend to think of hard to understand, which it kind of does mean. The best answer here, though, is mysterious. It's a mysterious ritual. And a ritual, of course, is a synonym for the word custom. I think you guys know the rest of these words: traditional, rare, fascinating, and complex. Number 12, the government was full of chicanery. Again, not sure of the pronunciation, but what does it mean? So if you look here, all 5 of these are bad. All 5 are bad. So chicanery, we know for a fact, is a bad word, but what's the best answer? So disorder means chaos. Corruption means venality. Weakness, we know what weakness means. Deceitfulness means lying or trickery. And then arrogance, of course, means overconfidence. The best answer here for chicanery is going to be deceitfulness right there. Okay, let's keep this show going. We are making good progress. Number 13, John censured his children. Don't confuse this with the word censor with an O. That, of course, means the government prohibiting or limiting information that the public can read or access. This is a different word with a different spelling. The best answer is scolded, which means, if your child does some bad behavior and you yell at them or you reprimand them, that would be the synonym of censored. So a good GRE synonym is reprimand. Number 14, the setting is bucolic. So let's talk about the trick answer first of all. The trick answer is tranquil, and I'll explain why. The setting is bucolic. Bucolic has a meaning of countryside. Now, is the countryside usually tranquil or calm? I think most people would agree that it is. But the question is, does the word bucolic mean tranquil? The answer is no. It means countryside. So the best answer is rustic right here. Let's talk about suburban. So suburban is if you have the city center, and then here's the suburban area, and then here's typically the countryside. So the suburban is this area, right outside of the main city where you find a lot of houses and good schools, but also pretty large populations. And then finally, gentrified. This is a very common phenomenon happening in some parts of America right now. Gentrification is when you have kind of an old, maybe poor neighborhood. And what happens is wealthier people, often younger and maybe hipper and cooler, move into the neighborhood one by one, and then slowly, the neighborhood starts to get wealthier, and the neighborhood starts to get cooler and maybe a little bit safer, which is a good thing. The problem is with gentrification, you sometimes will make the neighborhood so expensive that these impoverished people who formerly lived there can no longer afford to do so. So there's some kind of mixed feelings about gentrification in America, some ambivalence about it. In fact, the neighborhood I live in right now in California is currently undergoing gentrification, and it's kind of interesting to see just from a anthropological viewpoint. All right, number 15, they dance in a desultory, who knows about these weird pronunciations. All right, correct answer here is going to be they dance in a random manner. Frenzied is not a bad answer. Random is still a little bit better. Slow is kind of the trick answer because desultory looks very similar to this word, dilatory, which does mean slow. So I put that in there as kind of a trick. Synchronized is the opposite of what I'm looking for. This, of course, means not random. This means very planned. He's quite verbose. A person who is verbose is basically talks too much. Yeah, you talk too much. Shut up. Okay, correct answer is wordy. Articulate can also mean good with words, but keep in mind this is a very positive connotation, whereas verbose tends to have a negative connotation, as does wordy. Vapid means shallow, superficial, not deep. And then vivid means, easy to imagine or easy to kind of experience with your senses, with, the smells and your eyes and your imagination. Number 17, he had a prodigal nature. I remember when I was a kid growing up, and then I used to hear this phrase, the prodigal son returns. Very common phrase. And to be honest with you, I had no idea what the hell it meant for years. And I would hear it probably, once every 6 months or something. And then just for years and years and years, I always heard the prodigal son returns, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And even to this day, I still don't really get it. I still don't get it. I know what prodigal means. I just don't know what it means in this phrase. So he had a prodigal nature. Well, this is a person who likes to waste resources and waste a lot of money. So the best answer here is going to be extravagant. Now look here, we have a lot of good GRE words. So caustic is a synonym of acerbic, negative attitude, negative talking. Alluring means attractive. Garrulous means talkative. And then taciturn means quiet. Extravagant on the GRE typically means wasteful, a negative connotation. 18, you make a compelling case. The best answer here is going to be you make a persuasive case. You are able to convince me with your argument if you make a compelling case. Number 19, his decision-making was dilatory. We talked about this before, and what it means is slow. Now, I didn't put slow here, so you have to choose a synonym of slow, a GRE synonym. The best answer is sluggish. 20, the fears were assuaged. So were the fears increased? Were they decreased? Were they spread? Who knows? Assuaged means that they were actually decreased. It means to take a negative feeling like fear or pain and to make it go down or to decrease it. So the best answer here is going to be mitigated, which of course, again, is another GRE synonym for decreased. 21, the issue has polarized America. Whenever I see the word pole, I always like to think about the Earth. And up here you have the North Pole, and then down here you have the South Pole. Notice that they are on opposite sides of the planet, so the best answer here is going to be separated. Her true feelings were betrayed. GRE loves this word because our first thinking when we think of the word betrayed is kind of like the stab in the back. You cheat on your boyfriend or you cheat on your girlfriend and they say to you, I feel betrayed, I feel betrayed. The GRE doesn't really use the word betrayed in this manner. They typically use it in the manner of revealed and unintentionally revealed. So to reveal something by accident. That's what the GRE likes to use whenever they use the word betrayed. 23. The professor contends that dot 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 dot. You know, who knows? He contends something. He contends that. Let's see. What should we say? Let's practice our Korean. Pizza is delicious. So this is Korean for pizza. So the professor, does he agree with that idea? Does he disagree? Best answer is he asserts it. You know, he says it strongly. 24, I abjure that idea. This just looks like a negative word, and you are right. The best answer is reject. Relish means to love it. Okay, that's a nice GRE word there. Almost finished, guys. 6 more. 25, it's a cosmopolitan city. Whenever I see this word, I often think of the alcoholic drink, a cosmopolitan. And to me, that seems like a drink a very sophisticated, experienced person would order. I've never actually had one. I only drink beer. But the best answer here is worldly. 26, he has ascetic lifestyle surprised many. So this is actually a GRE synonym with the word austere. And in sentence equivalence questions, if you see the word ascetic, it's very likely that you would also see the word austere right with it. And you could actually pair those words up like that. 27, the theories coalesced. Well, if things coalesce, they come together, and then they form into one thing. So the best answer here is merged into one. 28, the room is cacophonous. Doesn't that just sound like a noisy word? It's almost like you can guess from that meaning, cacophonous. Best answer is noisy. Okay, this journey is almost over. 29, copious activities are available. Copious is just a word you have to know. It just means a lot. That's all it means. So the best answer here is many. Finally, number 30, the principle has been canonized. Look at the spelling of the word principle. It has the L-E, which means the belief. So the belief has been canonized, which means they think very highly. So to think highly of that idea or that belief. So the best answer here is glorified. Okay, guys, thank you for spending some time with me to test your GRE vocabulary. Remember, this is part 3. We're going to have part 4 out next week. And by the time we have, 10 or 20 parts, we're going to have a pretty good vocabulary list going. So right now with the 3 parts, we have 90 words. But once we get into the 10 words, we're going to have, 10 parts, 300 words. 20 parts, we're going to have 600 words. Keep going. 30 parts, 900 words. So, this is something you guys want to check on a pretty weekly basis to make sure you're keeping up to snuff with your GRE vocabulary. Like always, if you guys have any questions, you can email me at gregmatttesting@gmail.com. All right, guys, until next time, have a good day and have a good work week. And I know we all have to go to work soon. Talk to you soon.